Oh, now it is.
Oh, it wasn't recording?
No, I had
I
to
can't
restart.
do this.
Huh? No. What?
I can't convince.
Introduce.
I wanted you to review it on 1995 M3.
Alright, for you guys that don't know, this is Angie, one of my close best friends, and Angie, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. I'm Angie. I'm from Buffalo, New York. I met Anthony through his M5 when he let me drive it for the first time. And I drive a 1995 M3 now.
Well, let's explain what you had before. Let's start with that.
I had a 2003 BMW 330i, which is an cosmetic mods, anything. And it was fun, but it broke a lot, and it was a lot of money. And then it's been in 2 accidents.
Yep. And no matter the outcome, you made out with a freaking 1995 M3. And what the hell?
Super rare.
You know, and I gotta say, warm welcome to the M family. Warm welcome to the M family. You're gonna realize that M cars are gonna be M cars. But at the same time, it's going to be a fun experience, and regardless of the problems that the car has, it's not going to matter. You're going to have fun. And...
Yeah. Excuse me for not being active.
I can't wait to build it more up during winter.
I think it's a
And
beautiful
get it
car.
going.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? The car just needs some TLC. I mean, it's a project car at the end of the day. I think that's what we all really own.
Yeah.
We all understand that we made bad investments. Whether
Been there, done that.
Whether it's you save 2 years, throw money into it, and then use your life savings and throw money into it, you know. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's all for fun and game, and you know, I'm very glad that I met you and a lot of people in the community. I mean, you showed me a lot of the Buffalo life, which is really, really cool.
It's crazy to think about how we can interconnect with the cities, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, some of the people that you meet, you meet from, how can I put this in a way? You meet from drug dealers to millionaires. Everybody's got a way of getting their
And
car,
those
which is really
millionaires
cool.
are drug dealers.
Yep.
That is true.
But it makes it for a very fun, you know, topic to bring up, like about how people come about their stuff.
Yeah.
And
It really is cool to hear people's stories.
you know, seeing different builds and stuff. I mean, obviously we've got the Facebook page Upstate Euro.
Yep.
And
Go follow.
yeah, I mean it's booming now.
I invited a lot of my Buffalo people in.
Yeah, it definitely helped. I mean, we're definitely going to be doing a cruise to New York City. Obviously, this winter we're going to go do our typical, just go enjoy the weekend. Then in the springtime, I'm actually going to be calling out a lot of the guys and stuff from around the local areas like Yonkers and stuff like that. And we're going to do probably one of the biggest European meetups in the East Coast. And I'm going to guarantee that. Besides MPACT in PA, which is really,
That'd
really
be
fun.
lit. That'd be lit.
It would be cool.
And
I'm not a Beamer person,
Bye.
so I don't know.
We got to change that.
BMWs are a lot of fun, but a lot of work.
Yeah.
I just want to get my Nash up and running, dude. Get that out of the woods.
It was funny because I always said I would never get a BMW, and then I drove one for the first time, and I just love the way they drive.
Yeah, see, I've always owned American Muscle. Then I made the mistake of watching my neighbor pull one into his driveway. And then I went and looked at one, test drove one, and I was like, shit.
Nice product placement there.
Yeah, I know. Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, we're gonna get sponsored. I don't know. I've always been domestic. That's just who I am. That's how I was bred.
You
And
had
not
the
saying
Lexus
bred
and
as a
stuff.
weird thing. I had the Lexus, but the Lexus is built like a domestic car. If you think about it, it's a 6,000-pound car, just like what I drive
So
now.
we did stuff to that car that should have never been done to that car.
You remember this. I ran the Lexus
No, with no oil.
No.
10,000 miles over an oil change. It was so bad.
No, not only did I do that, and the reason why it actually survived through that is because it was through the middle of winter and the car was cold all the time.
It never burned it.
No. The other thing that I did is I ran and
Oh, no coolant. No coolant, that's right.
no coolant for
Son of
a
a
year and a half.
Jesus.
Just tell me there is any car out there that will run off of no coolant for a year and a half and bring it to me.
I remember the first time I put coolant in it, the fucking heat just went from cold to being yes.
There was either hot or not in that car. There was no in between.
What was it? The AC kicked the shitter.
I don't know what happened.
One of the years the AC
finally
that AC was
It was
fire.
good. It was really, the heated seats were amazing.
Yes. The one thing that I do miss from the car was when the AC or heat
I
came
miss
on.
my sunroof.
No, well, that. But the vents. They go like that.
They have an
The
oscillating vent. Yes, it's so stupid, but it's hilarious.
I miss the seat warmers in my 46.
Yeah, those
Were they
things,
good?
Those things burned your ass.
Were they good?
Yeah, they did.
The Lexuses got really hot. Those ones, if you had the heat blasting in there, they were like electric stove.
The one thing I gotta say about the M5 is the M5 seat.
They're
not terrible. They're not great.
They're a luxury that
And
came out in 2008.
I gotta say, the freaking cooled seats,
Mm-hmm.
man, it can change you as a person, really. But like I said, for 2008, the technology that was out for that car, I mean, some of the shit still amazes me. I mean, you got heads-up display, you got the active bolsters, you got when you put in M mode, the suspension drops, the seats get stiff,
And that's carried throughout cars of today.
Yep.
Like, a lot of that technology that came out is in supercars.
Well, it's the four-door supercar, which
it's a super saloon.
It makes no sense. Like I said, it was just funny driving back from Maryland when I picked up the car because, like I said, the first time I got onto the turnpike was the first time I realized, holy shit, this car can do what it's been freaking told to do.
And it had low miles on it, too.
Yeah, I only bought that car with
50K, really.
I think it was only 50,000 miles. I put almost 20,000 miles on it in a year.
That's called driving a car.
Yes, that's called enjoying the living shit out of it. Now, the one thing that I did...
letting Angie Moran drive your car.
Yes. The one thing that actually, the one repair bill, which now I can explain to everybody, was the freaking ABS module.
I knew it.
The ABS module in those cars have a lot of issues where they leak internally, and I noticed my brake pedal was really shit one day. I'm going to do a 180 mile an hour pull, typical me, and I went to go step on the brakes, and I had nothing, and the ABS light came on. Now,
ABS lights on.
Now, it stopped-ish, yeah, a few miles. Ended up being the whole ABS module, which really sucked because it was a $3,500 unit brand new. Right from BMW. Now, I had a summer budget, and I was not planning to spend $3,500 right away. And I pretty much just did this with my thumb, and boom, there goes $3,500.
That's how most impulse buys go, is you're on
well,
there late.
This one was an impulse buy. This one was an impulse repair.
Well, you had to. It was an impulse necessity
Yes.
at that point.
Because the problem was, once the ABS light came on, which for some reason some days it still fucking does. Weird as shit. You know,
Yeah.
Beamer life. You know, even with the ABS light coming on, it's still... The problem was with the car is it goes into limp mode. You don't get your top shift mode, and the power was just whatever. Who cares?
Oh, limp mode is real sad boy hours.
Tell me
When
about
limp
it.
mode comes on, you know something's really, really, really wrong.
No, just like when
Tell me about it. My
this-
car's limping right now.
That's right, her M3, it's in limp mode.
Yeah, that's
just-
unfortunate, but you'll get it. You'll
just
get
like-
it figured out.
Yeah. Just like this past month when I went to... Or no, was it last month? The month before, August. Or
September?
For what?
September. Let's try that. September.
What happened?
No, I went
This
to New York.
is in your car?
Yeah, I went to New York City. This is when I was with a stinky hoe. And,
Easy.
and, I, Went to New York City, decided to do a nice rip through the Lincoln Tunnel, and then the car decided to misfire on all 10 cylinders at once.
Yeah.
Pretty much, it was terrible. I made it to New York City, ended up getting 3 parking tickets in a row.
Hence, going to New York City, that's what you do.
What a
You get 3
shit show.
tickets.
Ended up blowing through, I think, 6 to 7 tolls, easy pass. I just went right through them. I was so pissed off at this point with the misfires. Ended up going back to Newark, New Jersey, to the most ghetto advanced auto. I mean, you got Bubba and Jay in their 3... I think it was like a 4 series or some shit from 1980. Hey man, you need tools? Yeah, man. And I remember going into the store and walking out spending $700 in spark plugs and fucking other shit. And, you know, it was a fun experience, but at the same time, it was just like, damn, you really had to break down at the worst time.
Yeah.
And you, Angie,
All
you
10
could,
cylinders.
I was going to say, you could probably say the same, though, breaking down at the worst time.
Oh God, do I have any stories of breaking down?
Do you have?
I've been really reliable. Surprisingly,
Yeah, you don't own a
my
BMW.
cars have all been really reliable.
I was about to say, you don't own a BMW, so you don't know.
No,
You have no idea.
I can talk about some past experiences that I've had of not me personally
What's
breaking
that?
down, but I was in the vehicle when it has broke
I was
down.
going to say, what's that, the death experience or the fucking...
No, the Triton, actually, when we owned it, it decided that the alternator was just going to take a tank because there was so
No.
much water.
You know what it was? I know the one breakdown experience we had. You and me cruising along. This is the time I hung out with, who the hell was it? It was Ali and Adriana, I think. This was a few years ago. And what the hell did we do? We picked them up. We went out to dinner. Whatever. We freaking...
broke down
Oh, you remember...
in my car?
No, my Trans Am. You're following behind me. I was going to do a pole and the transmission took a shit.
Oh yeah, second gear just decided to blow up.
Oh,
Because 4L60E life, yeah, we love GM, don't we?
I make parts for them.
I was going to
God,
Florida.
those transmissions are so bad.
I was going to floor and it's going. Boom! 90 miles an hour. What happened? I go to Florida again, it goes nowhere. Wow!
It's so bad.
I just remember looking at Adriana, she just goes, no good.
Well,
I
here
said,
we go.
No good.
Yeah, I've never really had any experiences breaking down.
Yeah, you're lucky.
Hey, I'm sorry.
I've had maybe, I think I've had maybe 17 times in the E46.
Yeah,
There we go, champ.
You know how I met her was through the Buffalo Nights. I remember we're driving, and then I think it was like later in the year. I remember we went to the track. This was after we fixed your oil pan, this and that. I remember I just remember you broke down. You're just like, I need to call a tow truck. Every time you broke down, I need AAA. It was just so bad because then I just wanted to make a meme. It's like anytime you hang out with Angie Moran, it's AAA or nothing. And it was so bad. I felt so bad for you at the time. I'm just like, dude, this chick is getting hit left and right with repair bills.
My custom plate AAA. That's what my best friend Will told me, was for it to say AAA, and it's the most accurate thing because I've always been broken down. I've always been in accidents. I have the worst luck with cars.
Now, I don't know if I should bring this up, but like the whole accident situation too.
I don't know.
The recent one?
I mean, you can talk about both of them if you want. I don't
What?
care.
Actually, I think we're up to 3 now, right?
Yeah.
Um,
So, in my E46, I hit a deer after I got my fuel pumps done.
which I'm
And then
surprised
I
she
got
didn't run the deer
rear-ended
back
picking up
over.
a pizza. I got rear-ended by a girl that was daydreaming. She stated she was daydreaming. And then I got T-boned in Glenn's car from a driver that didn't really know how to drive in a 2019 Mercedes.
Well, at least
Fun.
at least the majority, at least your accidents weren't your fault. Unlike me and my '99 Trans Am, trying to go 75 around a 20 corner, and ended up taking out a fucking tree. All I remember.
In my Audi, I did hit a pole. I hit a pole trying to drift.
Yeah, and
I hit a fucking
ever
telephone
since
pole.
ever since that, we called you Tree Hugger.
Yeah, and actually, I've now gotten a name. Anytime that car comes out to car me, hey yo, is that Tree Hugger? Every fucking time. Even when I put it on my Snapchat story today. Is that Tree Hugger? Damn, it's still around, you son of a bitch. I mean, come on.
It was such a great name, though. And then I don't even know how it came about. You got a sticker.
No, Jake bought me a sticker. I remember we were going to Omoco or Bosie's. He goes, here, you're going to need this for your car. And I'm just looking at it. I open up the package. Tree Hugger. All right.
Oh my god! If people who don't know Jake is one of those kids that's just like
if he
character.
If he was a meme guy,
He's a
this
character.
kid would be something. I mean, for only being 4'8", you know.
Oh god!
Yikes!
Mind you, this kid can walk into any grocery store and they'll be like, "Hey, you 12? Yes."
No, I don't really have any previous. Actually, no, I do have some previous experience breaking down. I wasn't actually driving. All of these experiences have been. I was never driving the car. I was young. I was young.
Truck.
Huh?
A box truck.
Oh, well, I'll get into that. I'll get into that.
That'll be for another day.
The Lexus, my family and I were vacationing in Connecticut, and every single time, these two stories that I have are due to an alternator. The Triton was an alternator, and
right.
the Lexus broke when my parents had first bought that car. That car, we were in Connecticut, and the alternator just decided to go, and like we had to get it repaired from a Lexus dealer that was down there, and it was expensive, dude. Like, I actually looked and saw like some of the quotes from our local Lexus dealers here in Rochester. And that's like a $2,000 job. I'm like, all you have to do is put the car on a lift, and it's right there.
See, we actually had like I was talking about earlier, we had a 2007 M6 come in. I love it. The guy comes in all happy and joyful. Oh, the car fucking runs great. The battery light, I kid you not. This is BMW luck, and this is the luck of owning a fucking BMW. Guys go in the back out of the shop after we throw a fresh-ass inspection sticker on. Oh, the battery light came on. All right, bring it back in. Maybe the battery took a shit.
Yeah.
No.
The alternator.
The fucking alternator took a shit right there. So we put a new battery in it, whatever.
Yeah.
The battery's 4 years old. Thing starts up. Battery light doesn't come on. We're like, we checked the alternator. Yeah, the alternator still took a shit. And pretty much, the problem with BMW and the E60 M5 or the E63 M6 is to do the alternator, either A, you drop the motor, or you take the whole entire front clip off the car. So guess what I'm doing Monday morning? I'm taking the whole front clip off an E63 M6.
Hey, bud. Have fun.
Good luck.
The only thing about those cars is, with calling for 8 hours of repair time, it's nice because now I'm going to make all this cash, and then it'll probably go into my M5, like it's probably gonna. And, yeah.
So it's going to.
So, yeah, it's going from V10 to V10, so it's really not going to make a freaking difference. I make nothing, so it don't matter.
I actually do. I have some really, really, really funny stories, and we have some really, really good stories.
If we go through our Snapchat memories, holy shit, we can come up with a timeline.
I have some really funny stories from Bosie's. So my Crown Vic, I have you know, it's the latest model that you could buy. It's a 2011, and this thing acts like it's born from like the 1990s, dude. I was in Bosie's. I went to Bosie's for auto body. And you went to Bosie's for auto tech. One morning during one morning during like, I don't know, it was coming out of the winter season. It was like January, February. I put my window down because
it didn't go back up.
No. I put my window down because I went to Tim Hortons that morning to go get something, and it wouldn't go back up as I was going through the drive-thru. And all
It
of a
was in
sudden,
the middle of
no.
winter.
Not only that, this is this is where it gets even worse. I was trying to put it back up, and I'm hearing clunking noises coming from inside my interior, dude. And I'm like, what is going on? And I see the glass is coming up over the door seal. And I'm just
I remember
like,
the window regulator took a
the
shit
window
that car.
regulator. Okay, so in a Crown Vic, I don't know if some people don't know, but you have like 3 different ways that window regulators are controlled. You have hand crank, which is you physically hand crank it, which a lot of cars aren't these days.
Most cars have them back
You
then.
have cable operated, which is electronic. You have electronically operated.
Well, you've got cable, and then there's a
You
track
have
system
arm.
as well.
you have arms.
They have arm. Well, there's 4, I guess. Track.
But mine are cable operated and arm. And the cables, I actually
It is
went
trapped.
home that afternoon because I didn't have to work. And I took my interior door panel off and I looked exactly where the cable broke. And I'm just like, there was a cut in the rubber the rubber seal that was around the
And it's
cable.
popped out.
No. It was dry rotted, so moisture got in there from me opening up my window all the time and letting
Just water get in.
water get in
I
there.
mean, that's any car unless
And-
you have a rain seal there when the window goes down.
So I had not only that, I had to leave my car at the Bosie's parking lot with the window down in the middle of February, just cold weather.
No, I think it rained that day too.
No, it didn't rain. It was
No,
snowing. It was freezing.
Oh,
It was
shit,
it was
snow.
it was in like the 40s, 30s, but there was snow on the ground. And I had to leave my car out there, and I actually asked my teacher if I could bring it in and at least like tape up the window so it wouldn't be freezing when I went home. I was blasting the heat.
I love
when went home.
his response. No.
Yeah, he literally just goes, "No, you have to have a permission pass." I'm like, "Oh."
Oh, I hated that shit in Momoko. Fuck that. I stole all their fucking road cones.
But no, it was so bad.
I should have been kicked out of that freaking school. I destroyed. we did burnouts in the parking lot. We used to take the shop car or the school
the
cars.
truck.
Yeah, we used to crash them through the fence. We tried to run the kids over one day. I remember that too.
So we have another funny story that comes from Bosie's. So there was a truck that I actually personally worked on. It came from the
just
auto
like
tech
caught on
department.
Fire.
It came from the auto tech department of the school, and it was I can't remember what year, but it was a 1990s like OBS Chevy single cab 4-wheel drive truck that was donated to the school.
No.
I don't know, probably years ago. I don't know, like 20, 30 years ago. And it was involved in a rollover crash. So they donated it to the school so that kids like you and I could work on it.
Jack and Coke's pretty good.
So I got done. We had assignments for this truck that I had to fill out. I had to take a bunch of stuff on it and put it back together, and it had to work at the end of the day because it was auto body and it was all body related. It was the doors, the bumpers, grills and stuff, and the hood and stuff like that. And everything was put back together. But we needed to move it from the auto body class shop to the auto tech shop because it had to get back there because we were doing other stuff at that point. And we never realized that this truck had any gas in it.
I remember, the freaking fuel pump fuse is pulled. I remember we're sitting there,
Oh my
we
God.
get it in. You and me are just sitting there and freaking...
I was standing. You were in the driver's seat.
I'm sitting
holding
there,
the gas
pumping the gas, cranking,
It's
cranking.
carbureted.
My teacher's sitting there spraying starter fluid inside
Started
the
fluid
carb.
into the air cleaner.
And it clicking, boom! Freaking whole thing just blows up in a flame.
We had a 4-foot flame come off the air cleaner, and I remember my teacher at the time.
He just goes, just keep turning, and we're trying to because
one of my classmates, he was like super concerned about like safety at the time, and he went over and grabbed the fire extinguisher.
You don't do that. It sucks it into the motor. It kills the valves.
I was laughing.
I think one thing that people don't understand with a carburetor is if you
It's
start
very
it-
explosive.
Uh-oh, she timed out. If you start
Oh
it,
no!
if you start it, it'll suck in the fire and then it'll cause explosion.
So do it again.
So do it again.
Let's do it again.
No, unfortunately. unfortunately, our guest here timed out on Instagram
Yes,
Live. That's okay,
and it looks like the live has no viewers, but that's okay.
though. Yeah.
What time
No.
do we got here?
We've got 10:24. We're at an
Probably end
hour
it. We could
and
probably do-
22 minutes.
We can do it 1:30, hour 30.
You don't think we should go 2 hours?
We can do
Okay.
hour 30 for today.
Okay.
Even though it's our first episode, who cares? Well, you know what? Excuse me.
Whoa. Don't worry.
Obviously, for our first podcast, nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy, no.
You know, this is kind of just introducing ourselves, getting used comfortable to everything.
We
I
should
mean,
actually introduce our names. I never did that before.
Oh,
we
yeah, you
started.
guys skimmed over it.
So, I am going to be the main host of this podcast. My name's Mitch, and I'm sure a lot of people do know me from the car community, especially in the local area. But people that are going to be watching this probably won't know me. But that's my name. My name's Mitch. This is our co-host here, Anthony.
My name's
good
Anthony,
buddy.
and co-host.
And we have our good friend here, Zachary.
An impromptu cameraman, I guess.
Yes, he is operating our cameras right now.
And, yeah, he's just keeping up to date and
Yep.
pretty much keeping everything moving to flow. I mean, obviously, you know, we've got some nice starter equipment here. You know,
Yes.
the nice microphones. I mean, yes, we're going to be expanding.
And
We'd like to do a green screen eventually. And,
Yeah, and unfortunately, we can't run live stream right now because, for one, in my personal opinion, I don't feel like paying $200, $300 for live stream software, and YouTube doesn't allow you to live stream until you have 1,000 subscribers, which is
No.
kind of stupid.
and
in my
we don't
opinion.
really need to do that. Plus,
No, you don't
we,
need a live stream. It's live. It's cool to live
Well, the
stream
one thing
because
is-
you can treat it as a radio show.
We have
but-
Instagram Live, which is
Close
you know,
enough
pretty
at that
much.
point.
I mean, it does everything that we need.
Yep.
You know, it may not be the greatest recording software in the world, but
And unfortunately, the whole timeout situation, we couldn't just say we couldn't say bye or whatever.
no. And plus, the internet down here right now isn't. Really
Well, I mean, we're in
craziest.
the middle of nowhere.
That is true. We are in the middle
We're
of nowhere.
running my laptop off of a hotspot off of my phone.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that we are literally in the boondocks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally. But you know what? It's,
For all the people that don't know, we're in Honeywell, New York, and Honeywell, New York is set in between about an hour away from Rochester, and it's more southwest, I guess is what you could say. And yeah, we're on the lake. Right now.
And-
We are on the lake.
Yep,
we are
we're-
waterfront right
We're
now.
waterfront, and another thing is to know about this area is these roads are great for cruising. I mean,
There's
beautiful,
a
beautiful
roads
roads
around here.
The only problem is during the cold seasons of the year,
You get ice.
Yes,
You get ice. You get
obviously,
snow.
as car people, unless you daily drive your car, you're not going to be driving it in this time of the year.
Nope.
Me personally, I put my E60 M5 away, and it's actually currently being built, and the engine's being torn apart, and everything's going to be done to that car. And I mean, yes, it's going to be about a almost 9-month process, but at the end, it's going to be all worth it. It's going to be
Mhm.
really, really fun.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a solid car.
Yeah, I mean, whether it makes crazy power or not, it's going to be very reliable for a BMW.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be afraid to push it harder than I already do.
Me, I'm looking for a winter beater. I'm not really in the situation where I have a crazy car.
we had a lead on.
We had a little, not mishap, but we had a situation that came up where we saw a car that we couldn't really refuse, and then we did, because we realized, oh, wait, we're going into the winter months. There's no point in having a project car right now. It was a 95 LS400 Lexus that was lowered on coilovers, and it was a solid car. It was a really solid car. It had 156,000 miles on it, which, for all the people that don't know, LS400s, I mean, there are a million LS400s out there that have more than 300,000 miles on them, which is insane. And Toyota and Lexus had built those cars specifically for Indy racing, and they ditched them, and Lexus picked them up. And those cars are super reliable. And 1,000 miles is considered low miles, in my opinion, for that vehicle, and they wanted 900 for that car. And it was a great car, but we were just kind of like, I don't know right now. It's not really a good idea. We're coming into winter here. If we lived in like somewhere like Florida or California, we probably would have kept the car.
Oh, 100%.
Probably would have bought the car. But right now, I'm looking for a beater car. I daily drive my Crown Victoria, and it's a great car. It's rear-wheel drive, like any other Crown Vic. Does good in the snow. I would recommend, if there is anybody out there that would get a Crown Vic, put snow tires on it. It's a heavy car. Put weight in the back of the trunk. Put like cinder blocks, bags of like sandbags. Put I don't know, lead weight if you have it. Like, I don't know what else I can recommend to keep your car on the ground. But if you're gonna get a Crown Vic, if you're looking to get a really reliable rear-wheel drive sedan, I would say that the Crown Vic is probably up there with a lot of them. But if you're going to drive it all year round, in the winter, get snow chains that stretch over the tires and get snow tires for the car. Because I have driven that car personally in the winter without snow tires, with low tread road all seasons. It's not fun.
Oh, come on. There's some really good ones. But, you know what? As we come to an end here, I think what we're going to do is we're going to let this one simmer. We're going to see what you guys say as a guest.
Of course, yeah.
And we're going to continue to do these podcasts every weekend.
Yep.
Around the same time, I'd say.
Yeah, it depends.
It depends on what our situation is. Obviously, work, life. But we're going to continue to bring up more topical ideas on cars and just life in general. Just anything that's really car related, honestly. Or if you have different topics, we're really interested. I mean, we're most American people.
Well, I mean, if you guys have different topics, send them to us as ideas, and we'll talk about them in there.
Yeah,
in the
and
podcast.
we like everything from American Muscle to JDM, and I mean
I love everything from American Muscle down to like 50s cars, all the way up to Honda 4-wheel drive manual mini trucks. So
we pretty much like
cover
everything.
every realm.
And if there's actually any other topics, I mean, world events, stuff like that. I mean, we're not really going to get political because it's just stupid.
It is.
And I mean, we talk about everything, even if it's explosives.
No, I think that this has been something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and there's not really any other good way to really talk about this kind of stuff other than doing it over podcast. Like, we could do it through a radio show, but doing it through a radio show, it takes years to get developed. I mean, we're doing this right now. Like, it's just...
It's already ahead.
It's already ahead, and it's gonna get uploaded within 40 to 60 hours.
We'll be the next Gas Monkeys on Discovery Channel. We're taking that slot.
Well,
I don't know. I like you said, I'm gonna let this episode go out, and I'm gonna let it simmer. I'm gonna let it. The actual title to this episode is going to be topics of discussion, because I mean, it's the first episode. There's not really anything that I could call this first episode.
Could just say hello.
But it's kind of a pleasure being in the car community, because you get to see a lot of different stuff, and you get to see a lot of people that come from different lines of the community, where people start from different vehicles. Like, I mean, you get people that start off of mini trucks, you get people that start off of old muscle cars, you get people like you and I that started off of really different vehicles. From
yes,
different lines.
even though I started off with, honestly, well, we had the Cobalt. That was a fun one, but I really started off with the Trans Am, and
it's funny because, like, when I was in high school, a lot of people thought I was rich because of the Lexus. That car was...
It was the same thing for me. How do you know what I always got in high school? Oh, dude, nice Corvette.
That car, my Lexus, was a hand-me-down that I paid most of the stuff for, and by the time I got out of high school, it was finally at its end of its life, and the car did what it needed to do. and now I have a Crown Vic with 134,000 miles on
Now
it.
you
That
came
treats
up
me
from
well.
American Muscle to owning a very powerful BMW 860 M5.
Mm-hmm.
And I think on that note,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be another for our first podcast here.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. Give us some input and let us know what we should talk about next.
Yeah, I think that we're going to continue to do this stuff a lot. And,
100%.
I mean, our schedule is kind of...
It varies with what we have.
It varies with what we have to do, and because we work, I can't do it during the week. If I had time during the week, I would do it. And because I don't, it's not going to happen. And the weekend... basically what's going to end up happening is I'll set out a post on Instagram or something saying that the new podcast or the second episode is going to be coming out this weekend. Stay tuned to watch or something like that, or like be ready to watch or something like that. But until we get into live streaming, I can't really say, oh, this podcast is set for this time, this day, whatever, and just go and do it, because I don't have that capability right now. I mean, I don't care that I don't have that capability. I'm rolling with the punches here. I don't really care.
Yeah.
And I think this is something that at least the people in the greater Rochester area can tune into and have fun. And sooner or later, when we get into live streaming, it's going to be way more dynamic, and we're going to actually be able to read people's comments and stuff.
Yeah, we'll be able to actually bring our whole podcast setup out to events, and
Yeah.
we can honestly get a
bunch of people.
We can get a glimpse, and actually we can roll around as a podcast crew. In a way, is we could show
Getting
people,
to the community.
Yeah, either getting to the community or showing what our community has to offer here locally, up in upstate New York.
Yep. But yeah, on that note, thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for the second episode. This
should be later next week.
Yes, the next one should be later next weekend, probably on a Saturday or Sunday.
Around the same-ish time, if not
Yep.
a little bit earlier.
Yep.
And we'll keep you guys updated.
Thank you.
Good night.
Yep.